Welcome guys to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to increase your FPS. Now let's just get right into it. So first thing you want to do is you're going to want to install Lunar Client. Now I'll leave the link in the description so that you will be able to install this. It's pretty easy. You just click the button and it should install, and then it will complete it on your computer. But basically, this increases your FPS and has different features on there, and even has more features and like different kinds of mods that you can use that'll just improve your gameplay. And I'll show you some of those mods and features when we get it. But it has Optifine automatically installed, as you can see here, and they have all the versions. So I like to use 1.8 for PvP and Hypixel kind of thing. So as you can see, they have Optifine, or if you want to add another mod, they have Forge. So it's a really helpful client to use. If you like to use Badline, that's also good. I just noticed that I get more FPS on Lunar Client. So, or if you just want to download the raw Optifine file for whatever version you're going to do, I will leave the link to Optifine in the description. So Optifine is basically just something that improves your FPS. It takes the raw settings of the game and manipulates them in a way so that you can heighten your FPS and make your game better and more playable. Okay, so once you've loaded into the game, you're going to want to press escape and go into your settings. You're going to be doing all the busy work in your video settings. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to change your graphics from fancy to fast. Now you can see right here a bar pops up and shows you exactly what to do, right? So fast is going to be lower quality, but it's also going to be faster, and that will dramatically increase your FPS. All right, smooth lighting. Now this is, just personal preference. It's basically shows the shadows and the lighting up of rooms and different things. If you don't care about that, you can turn it off and it will increase your FPS if you turn it off. Most of this stuff doesn't really matter. Brightness, not too much. If you have shaders on, it is obviously going to reduce your FPS, so you will want to disable those if you're looking for the top tier FPS. Most of these things are just client side things that won't really affect much of your game and how it runs. Same thing with animations. You can turn these animations off because obviously it's just puts more stretch on your computer, but it's not really going to be doing that much of an impact. So for your render distance, you're going to want to basically keep it at a normal level. Obviously, as you can see, when I set it to extreme levels, it is going to drop my FPS to 0. So we're going to bring that back. My game almost crashed. But basically your render distance is basically just how far it is rendering, and you can see this little list right here. Tiny is 32 meters, it's the fastest, and then ludicrous is 1024 meters, and it needs 3 gigabytes of RAM allocated. So you basically only need to set it around like the teens. So your max frame rate, whatever your frame rate is and the max that you get in game, so right now it's going to be around 100. You're going to want to set it to that amount, because if you are setting it over unlimited, it can actually decrease your FPS, because you are basically telling your computer you can run a lot more things and the frame rate, yeah. So personally, I like to use VSync, which is not going to be very helpful if you're really trying to boost your FPS and get it up, to 80, because my monitor rate is going to be 60. That is my monitor frame rate. But I do this because it actually helps with the recording, and if I keep it in 60 frames, then my recording will be smoother and it doesn't glitch. So that is why I'm keeping it right there. But if you would like, you can set it as high or low as you want. Just know that you'll probably want to set it around however the maximum your FPS is going to get. So view bobbing doesn't really do much, I'm going to be honest. VBOs, I would like to enable that. I would recommend enabling that as well. This is a alternate rendering model, you can see right there, and it is a lot faster than the default rendering. Maybe not as fast, but it's going to be a little faster, which faster rendering equals faster FPS. Alternate blocks, that's not important. Neither is a dynamic FOV. These are not applicable to FPS. Quality. Now for the quality, you can turn some of these off if you notice your FPS still isn't doing very well. So these are all kind of the same. None of them really have crazy impacts or anything. But if you really are noticing your FPS dipping, I guess you can turn some of these off. For performance, this is where the main settings are going to be for your FPS improvement. This is all the Optifine integrated stuff. So for smooth FPS, you can turn this on if you are noticing that your FPS is fluctuating a lot. And if it's, you know, say going to 80 FPS, but then going back down to 20, I would turn this on. I usually keep this off because my FPS doesn't fluctuate as much and it will leave more room for my FPS to be greater, right? And so then if we go to fast render, this is definitely the top setting that will change your FPS from, you know, freaking 40 FPS to like 70, right? This is going to be amazing because it optimizes the rendering and it makes your FPS just absolutely amazing for the rendering. And it will possibly conflict with some kinds of maybe texture packs or mods. However, it shouldn't really, like if you're just doing vanilla Minecraft gameplay, it should not conflict with anything. It may conflict with shaders. It will conflict with shaders. Fast math, you should definitely turn this on. This is going to be a big FPS improver. This will utilize the CPU cache and increase the FPS. Most of these things are just going to increase the FPS if you turn them on. Same thing with dynamic updates. This is kind of a hit or miss for some people. I've noticed that for some people it will, at least for myself, with my Windows 8 computer, this is not a Windows 8 that I'm using, but with my Windows 8 computer in the past, it has definitely made it actually worse when I've turned it on. So you'll kind of have to play around with that one. This one you can turn it on, the lazy chunk loading. It will make it smoother and just increase FPS overall. Same thing with render regions and smart animations. Smart animations is not going to do much, but if you're using some kind of special texture pack or just something, you know, that isn't very vanilla, it'll definitely increase the FPS. And the chunk updates, it has a description of world loading. If you want the fastest world loading, you're definitely going to want to turn to 5, but if you want the highest FPS, which is what we're looking for, you're going to turn it to 1. And, you know, maybe you find something in the middle that you like. So I'm going to keep it to 1 for the sake of this video. But yeah, so that's going to be it for performance. All this stuff is just client side. It's not really going to be much use, but yeah, that should be it. If you want to have smooth lighting, you can just turn that off. And as you can see, the fast render is not compatible with the shaders. So if you're going to want to use shaders, you're going to have to turn fast render off, which is kind of sucks because it's a big hit to the FPS. But it's going to be kind of glitchy when I turn this on. I just want to test it to see how much it's going to be glitching, but let's just see how much we've improved our FPS from the start of this. And as you can see, we're getting over 100 FPS on this laptop. I'm using a Lenovo laptop right now to record all this. So we are getting over 100 FPS. Yeah, there's a reason there's flashing lights there. That's because I don't have VSync on. That's just the recording problem. But yeah. Now we're going to be looking into the Lunar Client mods. Now you can open this menu by pressing the right shift button. And it will have so many different kinds of mods that you can use. And honestly, for Hypixel, this is probably the best. It has so many different options. I mean, you can add like keystrokes. There's just so many options and so many possibilities that you have with this. You have the coordinates, and these turn on. First, you have to enable each coordinate, but it honestly is such a useful client because it totally like revolutionizes the different things that you can do. I mean, just look at all these. So I'm obviously not going to showcase all of them, but it's mainly I mean, you look, you even have an item physics mod. That's insane. And it's all going to be mainly for Hypixel. And there's Hypixel Skyblock mod, which honestly, I've loved to use this one because it shows the auction house and it has not enough updates installed into it. So I really love to use this one for Hypixel Skyblocks. And the Bed Wars mod is also amazing because it'll show your stats up here. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for the video. Yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you would like more of this content. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.